guaranteed to land a job paying more than we're currently making in the next 30 days or less. In fact, the average person who follows exactly what I'm about to share will land a job making more than they're making currently in 22 days, between 22 and 26 days. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. All right, give me one quick second. So I am here to help. I want to make sure that you are getting the assistance that you need. For those of you who don't know me, if this is your first time like watching a live stream or seeing me and saying, who is this guy? I've been in talent acquisition and recruiting for 35 years, okay? And I have helped thousands of people at every level to get jobs at the companies that I worked for, okay? I am in charge of the entire hire life cycle. So I'm going to tell you about the 4 parts of the process that no one tells you about so you can take advantage and be in control of your career. There are resumes. You got to have a good resume. I'll explain to you what I'm talking about in just a second. You got to know how to search for jobs. I'm going to tell you the best way to find jobs in seconds and apply to jobs in seconds on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com. I'm going to talk to you about job interviewing. I'm going to tell you every question, the 6 to 8 questions every hiring manager will ask you. I'm going to tell you why they ask them, and I'm going to tell you how to answer them so you can get an offer. And then I'm going to talk to you finally about how you can send one email reply to the hiring manager and get $10,000 more from every written offer you get. Guaranteed, right? I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. Okay? Again, I've been in talent acquisition for 36 years. I own and manage the entire hire life cycle. So when you see that job posting that you're about to apply to, me or someone on my team, we are the ones that put up. I look at every job posting before it goes out to the public. I create all of the job descriptions, right? I do all of the salary surveys, and I don't think I ever shared this. I give all the hiring managers all of the questions to ask. Now, the reason why we do that is because we want to make sure that we're able to compare apples to apples. So the hiring manager asks everyone almost the exact same questions, so we know based on your answer which candidate is a better fit for us. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about that. We're going to get started. We're going to get started with the resume. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to talk to you about what the resume is, and I'm going to tell you what your resume is not. What it is not. Okay? Your resume in 2026 is not just a document that contains your work history, your education, and those things. Your resume is not that. Okay? Your resume, you have to understand, is a marketing document. That's what your resume is. And when you are marketing yourself to hiring managers to be the solution to their problem, you must show them how you are the solution to their problem before they even ask you. Okay? You have to understand it from that perspective. Your resume is not just a document that you put together to show the hiring manager where you went to college, the jobs you worked, what your job titles were. They don't care about that. Okay? I'm going to tell you how I know this. Because as a recruiter, I was submitting your information and getting rejected and didn't know why. So I had to change how I submitted your information so hiring managers could interview you and you can get hired. That helped me in my job. I could have gotten fired if I didn't do a better job at submitting candidates that hiring managers wanted to interview. Okay? So in 2026, the resume is more than just a document that shows in chronological order your skill, experience, education, and background. This is what most people do, and this is wrong. Okay? What you do is you put together a resume that starts either with your education or even your work history. And you just go down the list and show the hiring managers what you've done, right? So most people's resume speak about their past more than anything else. Now you think that that's what it's supposed to be, but it's not. When I say it's a marketing document, listen very closely. The hiring manager, when they put out a job posting, they're looking for someone to be a solution to their problem now. So yes, you should show your work history, but your document shouldn't be positioned just to show your work history, right? It has to be positioned to show hiring managers how you are now, present tense, the person who can solve their problem now. Now, how do you do that? Every hiring manager, when they pick up your resume, they are looking for 3 things to tell them if you are the answer to their problem. 3 things. If they don't see these 3 things in 7 to 10 seconds, they're not going to call you. You will not get called. I don't care if you apply to 20,000 jobs. Nobody's going to call you. They're not. Let me tell you why. Okay? And I'm going to prove it because you do the exact same thing when you are applying to jobs. You do the same thing. Right? So when you are looking for a job, I'm a recruiter. So my job is to attract the attention of candidates who apply to my jobs so we can interview them and hire them. That's my job. That's what I do all day, every day as a recruiter. And good recruiters have studied and know how to attract you. I know how to find you. I know how to get you to apply to my jobs. How do I do that? I answer the questions that you already have in your mind before you apply. There's 4 things every candidate wants to know before they apply to a job. 4 things. And so what I do is in my job posting, specifically the job title of the posting, I tell you exactly what those 4 answers are. Now, you don't know I'm doing this, so I'm telling you exactly what happened. And you're going to start looking at job postings after this live. You're going to look at the job postings. You're going to see, oh, it's missing that. It's missing that. They're not answering your question. You have questions. So what are those 4 questions you have as a candidate that I put at the top of every job posting? Number 1, you see the job title, but you want to know, what does this job do? Right? That's the first thing you want to know. The second thing you want to know is, where is this job located? Like, I'm not driving 3 hours one way. I don't care what the job is, right? The third thing you want to know is, how much does this job pay? You're not going to click apply and submit your information to a job if it doesn't tell you what the job is doing, where it's located, and how much the job pays. And finally, before you click apply, you're asking yourself, okay, if I apply to this job, what are my chances for getting a job? Right now, that speaks to how many jobs are open on the job post, and or when was this job posted? Like if it's 100 days old and it says only 1 position and the job posting has been open for 100 days, you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to waste my time and apply for this job because I am sure they have already filled this position. That's what you're thinking. So I know that as a recruiter. So I always post job descriptions answering those 4 questions before you click apply. That's why people click apply so fast on the jobs that I post. So a good example would be when I was a senior customer service call center recruiter at a call center, I would do a job. We had a class of 25 customer service reps we needed for a department. I would put, we have 100 job openings for customer service call center reps in whatever the city is, paying this amount. apply now, start immediately, right? That's what I used to put. And so what you do is you see that and you're like, you act with a sense of urgency because you're like, oh my goodness, it's a bunch of openings. If I apply to this job, it pays what I want. It's where I'm located. If I apply to this job, I know I'm a call center rep. I know I'm gonna get it, right? And that's why I used to get an average of 400 applicants per job posting. 400, okay? Because I knew what you wanted to see. If I wanted to have you apply to my jobs, I had to answer your questions before you applied. I couldn't put a posting out there and listen and hope you applied and then I could tell you. That doesn't work for you. You have a family to take care of. You have responsibilities, right? So either I'm going to tell you what you want to know before you apply, or you're not going to apply. I know that. Whenever I go work for a company and they're telling me they have low applicant count on their jobs, that's the first thing I look at. And I tell leadership, no one's going to apply to these jobs because you're only answering your own questions. You're not answering the questions for candidates. And they'll ask me, well, what do you mean? There's 4 things every candidate wants to know. And I tell them, these job postings don't list that. Now, some of them don't believe me. So I say, may I run a test? I'll run both jobs side by side, same day. The only difference is I'm going to change the job title on the job posting. Let's see which one performs better. And 100% of the time, the job with the information that you are looking for, it performs better, right? Because that's what you want. Now watch this. Hiring managers and recruiters are the same way. When you submit your resume to a job, there are 3 things we want to know before we contact you, or we feel like we are wasting our time. We feel like you're a waste of our time. Like, why did you apply to this job? It's wasted. No one's going to call you if they feel like you're a waste of time. They're not. So what I try to share with people is you have to learn what hiring managers and recruiters want to see, the questions they want answered before they call you, or they won't call you. It's not going to happen. You don't have to believe me. You can try all you want. I promise you, it's not going to happen. So if you're applying to jobs right now and no one is calling you back, the reason why no one's calling you, even though you can do the job, the reason why no one is calling you is because they don't see what they want to see when they look at the resume. It's 150 people in the room. I want us to take 10 seconds, tap the screen 40 times. You can tap the screen 40 times in 10 seconds. All we're doing is telling the algorithm we're on to send people over here if they want to learn how to get jobs fast. Just tap the screen really quickly for 10 seconds. You could literally tap it 40 times in 10 seconds to spread the word. Great. Keep doing that. You guys are doing awesome. We're 1.2, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. Just keep tapping it. Keep tapping it until you see it get to 5,000 or 6,000. So check this out. What are the 3 things every hiring manager wants to see the moment you apply to a job? Okay, now, we've answered your questions. That's why you applied. We've already told you the 4 things you want to know. Thank you, Jennifer, for the rose. We already told you the 4 things. Now you have to tell the hiring manager the 3 things they want to know before they call you, or they won't call you. Listen to me. I'm a recruiter, director, VP level. I'm not calling you. I won't. You have to answer these questions because we have so many candidates that we have to try to get through. And every second counts when we're trying to hire someone to fill a position. So those 3 things. Listen very closely. Number one, when you apply to a job and your resume comes to the applicant tracking system, right? All we see is your resume, your name, your information. So we're asking ourselves, okay, I'm going to click on this person's profile. I need to know what they do. We're trying to compare it to what we want someone to do. What do they do? So we open your resume to see what you do. Listen, if we don't see it, we click off of it and send you a rejection letter. If it takes us more than 5 seconds, 7 seconds to scan and learn what you do, what we do is we move on to the next person. It's an arrow that allows us to go to the next candidate. We may not send you a rejection email right that second, but if we find 5 to 8 people after we have seen your resume, you are going to get a rejection email, even though you may be 100% qualified to do the job. I didn't see, when I looked at your resume, I didn't see what you do. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing we want to see the moment we open your resume profile is how long have you been doing it? Okay, now let me pause it, go back to when I say what you do, I am not talking just about a job title. I am a senior talent acquisition and recruiting leader, VP, director level, C-level executive, right? But I'm a recruiter. So recruiting is what I do. What do you do? Right? Accounting, sales, warehouse logistics operations. What do you do? Not your job title, the function of the job you do. I am a recruiter. Even though I'm at the senior level, I'm a recruiter. That's what I do. You're a nurse. Even though you may be an RN or LPN, you're a nurse, right? You do nursing. You follow me? That's what we're looking for. Okay? So now that we know what you do, we want to know, okay, I see what you do. How long have you done it? Now, there's a reason why this is vital. It's important. Every candidate falls into 1 of 3 categories. You're either entry level, mid level, or senior level. Entry level is anybody who has 0 to 4 years experience. We know we have to take extra time to train you. So if we hire you, we know it's going to take extra effort. If you have 5 to 9 years experience, we know that you're mid-level. You won't need as much training, but we don't trust the level of your expertise yet to give you the entire department or the work. We still have to walk hand in hand with you for a little while to make sure everything gets done the way we want it done. And then if you have 10 or more years experience, we consider you to be senior level. You need no help at all. We can give you the entire job and know that it is going to get done. You will get the outcomes because you've been doing it for so long, right? We just need to tell you this is the outcome we want and you can go get it. Okay, so if we don't know how long you've done it, you are forcing a hiring manager to go through your resume to try to count the number of years experience you have. They're not going to do it. That's why you get rejected. They're not going to do it. It's too many. We gotta see too many people. Too many candidates we have to go through. Way too many. And if another candidate shows us how many years experience they have, you're out. We're not going to go back. We're not going to call. And here's the problem we have, right? Problem is, if we give you the benefit of the doubt and call you and you don't have that experience, it's a little upsetting. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Because we're thinking, why you apply to this job? Like, that's a waste of time. That's what we're thinking, right? We may not say it, but that's what we're thinking. Okay? So it will be like a company advertising a shoe, or for you ladies, a dress. Oh, we got this awesome dress on sale, right? And you go to the store and they have one size, petite. And you're like, what the world? Like, no, why don't you guys tell us that? Like, I would have never gotten in my car and drove down to this store. Why didn't you guys say that? Why didn't you guys say you only had one size? That's what you're doing to hiring managers. You're making them try to figure it out. And they're not going to do it. So if that advertisement for the dress says we only have one size, extra, 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 petite, small, unless you're that size, you're not going, right? So we want to know what you do. We want to know how long you've done it. Now, this next one, this is probably more important than everything else. And 99% of you, it's missing from your resume. No one has told you how important this is. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to explain to you why this third thing is critical. Okay? Just like you need to know, what is the job doing? Where's the job located? How much does it pay? And what are my chances for getting a job? We also want to know what you do, how long you've done it, and we want to know how good you are doing it. Now, what do I mean? Percentages, numbers. How much money have you helped the company generate? How much have you helped the company save? What percentage have you helped them to reduce waste? How many buses have you thrown? Trucks have you unloaded? Customer service calls you've taken? How many words a minute do you type? How many people do you manage? Right? We need to know that. How big is the data center or warehouse in square feet that you managed? We need to know that. If we don't know that, then we can't tell whether or not you can actually do what we want someone to do. So if that is not listed all over your resume, no one's going to call you. They're not going to call you. I'm trying to shout this from the rooftop because I want you to know that's why you're getting rejections. They're not calling. You can wish, hope, desire, dream, cuss, fuck. It doesn't matter. They're not calling you because they think that you are a waste of their time. Okay, so somebody's asking me. I am going to take 100 people today and I'm going to review your resume for free. If you email it to me, my email is here, Daniel@dscds.com. It's Daniel@dscds.com. Daniel@dscds.com. I will review your resume for free and email you and say, this is missing. Add this. Take this away. It's change this. I'll do it today for free. I can only take 100 people. That's it. So if you email me, and I'm looking at my email right now, I will respond to your resume today. So you know, so you can change it. Now, there is an option in there for me to do it, but you can change it yourself and you can start getting more job interviews. Nothing is going to happen if you don't get interviews. And everything starts with your resume. Everything. It's the thing that gets your foot in the door. If your resume is wrong, you're not going to get calls. It's not going to happen. Okay, so we want to know what you do, how long you've done it, how good you are doing it. So if you have managed $250 million in revenue for a company, or you are a sales rep that does $25 million in channel sales, whatever that is. I am a recruiter that hires 4,000 to 6,000 people annually for large to medium-sized companies in the U.S. So when a hiring manager clicks on my profile and sees my resume, the first thing they see is this guy is a senior talent acquisition and recruiting leader with 35 years experience hiring 4,000 to 6,000 people annually for large to medium-sized companies like ours. That's the first thing they see. They don't read nothing else about the resume. That's what they see first. That's why I get calls. That's why I don't have an issue with companies trying to reach out to me and have me come to work for them. Because I answer their questions. I know what they want. Now, how do I know this? Let me explain to you how I know this. And I started changing people's resumes over 25 years ago because I, as a recruiter, submitting candidates to a hiring manager, I was getting rejected. Okay? Somebody's asking for the email address. It's daniel@dscds.com. daniel@dscds.com. Okay, so this is what happened. I was getting rejected as a recruiter. So I was working as a senior recruiter for this customer service call center. We had 1,000 seats. 1,000. Okay? And so I was the guy responsible for filling each one of those seats, new classes, everything, right? So the hiring manager would come to me and say, this is what I need. I would have a meeting. I would ask them what they wanted. They would tell me. And I would ask, what are your deal breakers? The person must have what? They would tell me. And I would say, great. I would then do the job posting and I would put it out. You would then apply. I would then call you. I would look at your resume and say, wow, this person is perfect. I would call you and talk to you, right? I would say to myself, oh my goodness, you are perfect. I'm going to submit your resume to the hiring manager so we can get you scheduled for an interview. And then I would ask you, what days are you available? I would figure those things out. And then that's what I would send the hiring manager. And the hiring manager would send me a message back and say, Daniel, thank you for sending this resume. I'm not interested in talking to this person. I would say, what? You must have lost your mind. Why don't you want to talk to this person? That used to happen over and over and over and over again. I couldn't figure it out. Two, I would submit 10 applicants and only 2 would get interviews. I couldn't understand it, right? This director, my HR director at the time, short lady, she was probably 5'2", short hair, very short hair. She wore like a small afro. She said to me, Daniel, why don't you send out a survey and ask the hiring managers what they want. And I said to her, I asked them what they want. They told me these are the things they want. She said, just send it out. Because see, I was frustrated. I felt like they were rejecting me. I actually felt like hiring managers did not like me. I was going to quit the job because I was tired of spinning my wheels, submitting perfectly qualified candidates and hiring managers telling me no. I felt like they were rejecting me personally, right? They were like, I don't want to work with this recruiter. I don't like him. I'm a pretty straightforward kind of guy, right? I don't bite my tongue. I'm not disrespectful or anything. My mom raised me right, but I'm gonna be straightforward with people, open, honest, straightforward, because I care about their success. So I thought I was being rejected, and that director says they're not rejecting you. Just send an email out and find out. Well, guess what? They told me. And one hiring manager I met with says, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. And they went through this person's resume and they said, you told me this person does this. I don't see that on their resume. Where is it? Right? A light bulb went off for me. Oh. So I started showing them where it was. And that person said, well, that's what we want to see. Okay. That's what we want to see. We'll interview the person if that's what we see, right? So that led me to start doing something. I started changing everybody's resume before I submitted to the hiring manager. So what I immediately started doing is I would have an interview with you. We would go over your resume. I would see that you're a perfect fit. And then I would say this. I would say, okay, I'm going to submit you to the hiring manager. However, I'm not going to submit this resume because if I do, they're not going to want to talk to you. I need to change your resume around. Are you okay with that? And you would say yes. And I would say, okay, great. I would rework your whole resume, right? Reposition it and showing the hiring managers up front the 3 things they wanted to see. And then I would send it back to you. And you and I would get on a phone call. I would say, do you see what I did? And you would say yes. And I would say, okay. Now, I'm going to submit your resume to the hiring manager. They are going to want to interview you. Let me confirm these are the days you can interview. And you would say yes. And I would submit your resume. 8 out of every 10 candidates that I submitted. 8. I went from 20% success and frustrated to 8 out of every 10 candidates getting an interview. 8 out of 10. All because I made that one switch. Because I figured out I was not showing the hiring manager what they wanted to see. And no one was telling me, even though I was on their team. I'm the recruiter that talks to the community that applies to the jobs. Why wouldn't you tell me that? They didn't even tell me. I had to figure it out. I had to get frustrated, upset, almost quit my job. So you're feeling the same way and you don't know why. And I'm telling you why. They're not going to call you. Just like they didn't accept resumes, your resume from me, the way it currently is, they're not going to call you. Okay? So I see Glenn, Vlady, M. Ludwig, Dorothy, Tanya, Giannia, Jody, Antonio, Saudia, Beja, Timmy Tope, whatever, I think that's what the name is, Charles, Ashley, Mark, Great, SAL, Maria, Rachel. You guys have sent me a copy of your resume. I am going to review your resume today for free. And I am going to respond to your resume and tell you, hey, change this, fix this, adjust this, add this, or they're not going to call you. Okay? Now, there is an option in there for me to do it, but you don't have to accept that option. It's completely up to you. So just so you know, Paul and Josanne, EDIR, Glenn, I see it. All right, so check this out. So I realized those 3 things are important. So the way the resume on the first page is the most important page. The way the resume should be formatted. Your education should not be on the first page. Take it off. It's the last thing people should see. It only validates your expertise, right? So it should be your name, phone number, email address, city, state. That's your contact information. Your captivating headline, name, which is what you do, how long you've done it, how good you are doing it. I am a senior talent acquisition recruiter with 36 years experience hiring 4,000 to 6,000 people per year for companies that are medium and large in the U.S. That's what the first thing they see when they open the resume. Then they read further, my 10 career summaries of accomplishments, my 10 biggest accomplishments in bullet form. Because we're trying to verify this expertise you just told me that you have. So I list my 10 biggest summary of accomplishments. That I managed the largest customer service call center company in the country, managed 23 recruiters, hired built the biggest tech support call center in the state of Texas. Like whatever those things are, list those things out. I'm showing my recruiting expertise over my career. And then I list my areas of expertise. These are things you can do so well, you can do them with your hands tied behind your back and your eyes closed. So ATS, management and administration, right? Job board management and administration. Salary surveys, job descriptions, team management. I manage large groups of recruiters. High volume recruiting and hiring. Okay, those are my areas of expertise. These are things I can do so well that you can tie my hands up and close my eyes and I can still do it well. That's what we want to know. Okay? So this is important for you to understand. Hiring managers want to see what they want to see. And if they don't, I don't care how good you are, they're not going to call you. Okay? So if you want me to review your resume for free, Colleen, Tamara, Kalisha, A. Wilkinson, Julian, Money Manager, Wilton, I see your resume. I'm going to review it today and respond to you. So I can take another 65 people, that's it. 65 people today, I'll review your resume for free and respond back to you. You can do whatever you want, okay? Fix it. If you don't fix it, it's not going to change. So that's your resume. It's important. Nothing else that I say after this matters if your resume is broken. It doesn't matter. And you won't know if it's broken if you don't email it to me, right? I'm just saying, well, you won't know if it's broken if it doesn't look like what I'm telling you. Try it. Keep submitting your resume. See if anything changes. It's not going to change, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you really briefly. I'm going to tell you how you can find tens of thousands of jobs in your career, paying what you want, working where you want, doing what you want in seconds on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com. Most candidates search for jobs the wrong way. So they think there are no jobs open. That's what they think, right? Well, I'm going to tell you, right now on LinkedIn, there are 5.4 million open jobs. 5.4 million. And you're saying there are no jobs open. There are jobs open. You just don't know how to find them. You have to learn how to search for jobs like a recruiter searches for you. I'm going to tell you exactly what we do, right? If I wanted to find 4,000 people with a certain job, to do a certain job, I'm going to tell you exactly how I do it. So you could do the exact same thing. Now remember, if you want me to review your resume for free, email it to me. That's the only way you're going to know if it's broken or not. Daniel@dscds.com. Daniel@dscds.com. It's Daniel@dscds.com. So, how do recruiters, high volume recruiters like me, and how do I train recruiters to find you if we needed to send a message to you to let you know we have a job opening, please apply, right? This is how we do it. Now, we don't do that much anymore nowadays because there's so many people who apply to jobs. But this is how we do it. If I have a job that I need someone to do, we have a job title and a job description. I do not use the job boards to search for you based on a job title. That's the big mistake you make. You're searching for jobs wrong because you don't know how the job boards work. I'm an expert at job boards. I've been working with job boards for 30 years. You just don't know how they work. Here's what happens. When you put in your job title from your previous job, you're telling the job board, find me and show me jobs with this job title. And if only 2 companies on the planet use that job title, you're only going to get 2 results back. And then you're going to be saying to yourself, oh my goodness, there are no open jobs. No, that's not how, you're not supposed to be searching like that. Okay? I have a client, Ron, lives in Ohio. He's on my fast track program. It's my 30-day program. I take you from no job to a job in 22 to 30 days. That's what my fast track program is. He came to me and said, Daniel, I am a senior sales account manager, executive. He's a director. He's been searching for a job for 8 months. Says, man, I can't find any jobs because there are no job openings. What am I going to do? So he signed up for the fast track program, right? And on the fast track program, I told him, we're going to fix your resume. I'm going to fix your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to be your interview prep coach. I'm going to do one-on-one coaching sessions with you. I'm going to show you how to find a job fast, okay? Making more money than you made before, okay? So he says, great. So he signed up. Now, this is the beginning of week 4 for him, okay? So 3 weeks ago, we went through this, what I'm about to tell you. I said, okay, Ron, now that you signed up for the fast track program, let's have a meeting. We have a meeting, a Zoom meeting, me and him, okay, me and him. And what I did is I walked him through the resume that we took care of for him and everything else. And then I said, now let's go to job searching. So we did the resume. I had him upload it to LinkedIn. We took care of his LinkedIn profile. Then I said to him, now we're going to search for jobs, okay? I want you said there are no jobs open. That's what you told me. So I want you to show me how you would typically search for a job. And he did exactly what you do. He typed in his previous job title, and I said, okay, don't filter by anything else. Just click search. And he did. 5,400 jobs came back. Okay? Now I told him, this 5,400 jobs that you're looking at right now, this is what we call an open search. Half of these jobs are closed or already filled. He said, how do you know that? I said, nobody tells you this. LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com, they do not remove our job postings from their website, right? They do not remove it until 30 to 60 days after it's closed. They don't remove it. So half of these jobs, if you apply to them, you're going to get an immediate rejection because it comes to the applicant tracking system that I manage. And because it's closed, we have an automated message that goes back out to you. And you're saying to yourself, how did I get rejected so fast? Did they look at my resume that quickly? No, the job is closed. So you're asking yourself, why is it posted on the job board? I don't know why LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter and Indeed.com don't take it down immediately. They just don't. 30 to 60 days pass. Okay? Now, so I said to him, half of the jobs you'll know, that's 2,700 left. And I said, now we're going to filter because some of these jobs, they're every level. Said, now we're going to filter this job. Let's do it by your position, right? So you're senior manager director. Let's position it by pay, filter it by pay, 120 to 160. We did all of that. Let's filter it by location, everything. And once we did the filtering, he got down to 18 jobs. I said, this is how you search it? He said, yes. I said, that's why you don't think any jobs are open. Because that's not how you're supposed to search. That's wrong. Okay? He says, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, I'm going to show you. Now that you're a Fast Track client, I'm going to show you exactly what you're supposed to do. So I said to him, let's go back to the front of the search. And I want you to type in the same job title. He did. I said, now I want you to remove this word and remove that word. I want you to just leave this word right here. Now click search. 440,000 jobs came up. He says, wow, what did you just do? I said this. You don't search for jobs based on a job title. You only search for jobs based on the major job function. You are a sales director. Sales is the function. That's the word we're using. Now that's what I just told LinkedIn is to show me every job on your site that has the word sales in the job title or in the job description. Now that we have 440,000 jobs, now we can filter. So then we started filtering by level, pay. Once we did all of the filters, including easy apply, we got all the way down to like 44,000 jobs, something like that, right? I said, now, this is what I call a premium search. You know these jobs are open because these positions have been posted less than 30 days. You know the pay is in line with what you want. You know the position is in line with what you want in terms of level. So you don't have to read job descriptions. It's perfect. Now all you have to do is click apply, and market your resume, the one that we created for you. Market it to as many hiring managers as possible to show them that you're interested in the job. Now watch this. I said I want you to apply right now. I want you to apply to 15 jobs. I said all you're going to do is click apply. It took him 5 minutes to apply to 15 jobs. 5 minutes. I said, okay, great. You're going to do 30 per day. 30 on LinkedIn, 30 on ZipRecruiter, 30 on Indeed.com. 30, 90 a day. I said that 15 jobs you just did, it took you 5 minutes. It's going to take you 10 minutes, 10 to apply to 30 jobs. If you did that on each one of the job sites, it would take you 30 minutes to introduce yourself to 90 hiring managers. You're going to do that 7 days a week. 7. That's 630 jobs. You're going to market yourself. Stop thinking about it like you are filling out an application. You are marketing yourself via the application process to 630 hiring managers a week. Nothing happened in week 1. Week 2, he had 4 interviews. Week 3, he had 2 final interviews, and he got offers 2 Fridays ago. I just got an email from him this morning. I'm going to read it to you. This is Ron. Good morning, Coach Daniel. I wanted to schedule a call with you tomorrow. I have for my final interview with another company. Can we meet tomorrow? I got an email this morning from him, another one. So this will be a third offer in 3 weeks. He had been searching for jobs for 8 months. What was the difference? He was searching for jobs wrong. It has nothing to do with whether you can do the job. I already know you're qualified. That's not a question. But if the hiring manager doesn't get your resume, if you don't market yourself the right way, if you don't apply to their job, nobody's going to know you're alive. So that's the only thing we changed for him. And then on the Fast Track program, I do all of his interview prep. So we'll take 15 minutes tomorrow. We'll prep for his interview. He'll go have the interview. I promise you he's going to get the offer. Okay? So many of you are asking about my Fast Track program. So first, email me a copy of your resume if you want a free. If you're interested in the Fast Track program, it's real simple. You can email me in the subject line Fast Track, or you can DM me. Just Fast Track, and I'll send you the information. You do whatever you want with it. Okay, so now that you know how to search for jobs and you start getting interviews like Ron, that's where so many people blow it. I am going to tell you what the job interview is about. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you what it's not about. And by the way, the promise I make to people on the Fast Track program is you will get a job making $2,000 to $10,000 more from every single job offer. Why? Because I'm going to tell you what I tell you to do at the end of every job offer. So Ron is going to make more money from these job offers than he's ever made before. Okay? I'm going to tell you exactly what and I'm going to tell you why it works. He's going to send one email. One. I'm going to tell you how. Okay, so let's talk about job interviews. What is the job interview not about? Okay? The job interview is not about you talking about your previous work experience, your education, your background, and all of the problems you've solved for Tom and Tammy in all of your previous jobs. Nobody cares about that. That's not what the job interview is about. Why do I say that? We already know you can do the job. We have your resume. I got it in my hand. I'm looking at it. It's right here on my computer. I can see that you can do the job. I'm looking at it. Stop talking about your previous work history. That matter is settled. We already know you can do the job. That's the only reason why you're sitting in front of us, is because we are convinced that you are a person who can do the job. Now, if that's the case, why don't they just give me the job? I'm going to tell you why. I want you to respond in the comments. So imagine I come to your town, right? You and I, we have lunch for the first time. And I get a call. And I'm talking. Oh my. And it's an emergency. And I say to you, I am so sorry. I just got an emergency call. Can I borrow your car? What would your answer be? Leave it in the chat. Yes or no. Can I borrow your car? What's your answer? Tell me. Cher says yes. You are awesome. Probably no. Joe Bug, no. Rennie, no. Smooth, no. Lady Gaga says yes. Nice. Cynthia, no. Bernita, no. Right? Lawyer says, my answer is no, I'll take wherever you want to go, right? That's my answer. No, you cannot drive my car. No, I don't care. You can show me your driver's license, your driving record. No, you can't borrow my car. Why is that? Reason number one, that car is important to me. I need it. If you wreck it, the only person that is going to suffer is me. Second, I don't know you. Who are you? Now, if you want me to take, you seem like you're a nice person. If you want me to take you somewhere, I'll take you, but you're not driving my car. I'm not giving you my keys. It ain't happening, right? Guess what? The job interview is the same way. Think about that comparison. You are sitting with a hiring manager and you're asking them, can I have this job? I need a job. Can I have this job? And they're saying, I don't know you. Wait, slow your roll. I need to ask you some interview questions so that I can see if I can give you this job. I don't know you, right? I try to give every candidate that I submit to a hiring manager, I try to give them this understanding. They don't know you. We know about you. We've seen your work history. We know that about you, but I don't know if I can trust you, if I can depend on you, if I can rely on you. I don't know what your underlying motivations are. I don't know if you're risky. I don't know if you're a rambler. I don't know anything about you. So I'm going to ask you some questions to determine who you are. And that's the 6 to 8 interview questions that you get every single time. The first question they ask you right out the gate, tell me in the chat, yes or no, if you've ever gotten this question. Thank you for coming for this interview. Tell me about yourself. Write yes in the chat if you've ever gotten that question. Tell me about yourself. Share, yes. Cynthia, yes. Cyclone, yes. Bernita, yes. Smooth, yes. Mashake, whatever. Kick, yes, yes. Everybody's saying yes. Why are they asking you that question? They're saying, I don't know you. Give me a brief understanding of who you are at your core, your professional character. Can you explain that to me? Not your work history. So this is how I tell people you answer it. You pick out 4 of your best professional character qualities. Hardworking, team player, committed, loyal, whatever those 4 are. And then you add to the end, and I'm someone you'll never have to worry about whether the job gets done or not. I'm a hardworking, committed, loyal team player. I value team success far above individual success, and I'm someone you never have to worry about whether the job is going to get done or not. That's how you answer it. They're not asking you about your previous experience. They don't want to know my 36-year history in recruiting. They don't want to know that. We already know it. Okay? The second question they're going to ask you, tell me if you've ever gotten this question before, right? If you're working, we can see it on your resume. I can see you working or not. So I'm going to say to you, why are you looking to leave your current job? Write in the chat if you've ever gotten that question. Why are you looking to leave your current job? Or why did you leave your last job? Yes or no if you've ever gotten that question. Yes. Cher says yes. Everybody says yes. Cyclone, Cynthia, yes. Ava says yes. Everybody's saying yes. Rachel, yep. Joe Bug, yep. You know why they ask you that question? They're trying to assess risk. So listen to me. I'm going to show you how you sound risky and why the interview is over if you answer like this. If you say, well, I'm looking to leave my current job because I'm looking for growth, you're out. I'm looking to leave my current job because I'm looking to work in a different environment. You're out. I'm looking to leave my current job because I am looking for a better opportunity. You're out. I'm looking to leave my current job because I'm looking to make more money. You're out. I'm looking to get promoted. You're out. Anything that has to do with that, you're out. You're too risky. This is why. When you say that to a hiring manager, they're thinking, okay, if I hire you and give you this additional opportunity, the moment a new opportunity comes along, you're going to leave me too. So I'm going to be back in the same situation trying to hire somebody. That's why they say no. The whole interview is over. Everything after that is over. Doesn't matter because your underlying motivation is not something that is conducive to them hiring you and believing you're going to stick around. True story. All right. We had 134 people in the room, 7,000 likes. Take 10 seconds, tap the screen 40 times, real quick, 10 seconds. Let's spread it out and get to 15,000 likes. Really quickly, everybody do that for me. I really appreciate it. There you go. 10 seconds, just tap the screen 40 times in 10 seconds, and then we will get to 15,000. All right, check this out. So the third question they're going to ask you, type yes or no in the chat if you've ever gotten this question. They're going to say to you, okay, I see you work over here. Why do you want to work here? Type yes in the chat if you've ever been asked that question. Why do you want to work here? Share yes. Yeah, Miss Dukes, yes. Cyclone, yes. User 652, yes. Ava, yup. Maisha, yes. Ace, yes. Everybody asked that question. lens. Yes. Why are they asking that question? Right? We need to know what your underlying motivation is. Why you want to come over here to this team. Right? So you have to understand you can't give some sort of selfish answer. It's all about you. You simply say, well, I've done my research and I learned that you guys are the best and I want to work for the best. I don't care who the company is. That's what you say. My underlying motivation is I want to be on the best team. Got it? All right. Now, the next thing I'm about to tell you about is behavior-based questions. And I'm going to tell you the best way to answer behavior-based questions using the STAR interview answer framework. No one will ever tell you how to use the STAR interview answer framework like this. The reason why I train and tell people how to use it this way is because it stops you from rambling and going down a rabbit hole. When they ask you a behavior-based question, we are trying to determine in real time how you would respond to real situations if you were on our team. Your response to these interview questions will determine whether or not you are a fit. So you have to be clear and concise and answer it correctly. That's why I tell people to do it this way. So STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. By the way, I can take another 57 resumes, 57 people. If you want me to review your resume for free, I'll review it for free. Michael Grant, Kimasha, Merlina, Kayana, Isatu, Miss Jones, Tobogo. I have your resume. I will review your resume for free today and respond and let you know what needs to change, what needs to be added, what needs to be subtracted, so you can get more job interviews that lead to higher paying job offers. Okay, so behavior-based questions, the STAR interview answer framework. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. Again, situation, task, action, result. We're at 15,000. Thank you guys so much. Keep going until we get 20,000. Situation, task, action, or result. Situation, task, action, result. But this is how you use it. No one else would tell you this. Please listen. This is what you must do. They're going to say to you, talk to me about a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker, manager, client, customer, whatever that is. They're going to ask you, talk to me about a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker. What was the situation? How did you respond? Now, this is how you expertly use STAR. You have to call out every acronym before you give a response, or you are going to ramble. So you say, well, thank you for the question. The situation was, and then you explain the situation. Had a coworker working with me on the project. They were just being untenable. They were just being argumentative, not cooperative, right? My task was, and then you explain whatever that task was. And then you say, well, this is the action I had to take. And you took the talk about the action, and this is the result we got. That's how you explain it. Whenever I do interview prep training with people on the Fast Track program, we walk through this so you do not mess this up. Because if you do and you start rambling and your answer is longer than 60 seconds, you're out. No one can remember clear, concise stories all the time. You don't know what they're going to ask you in interviews. That's why I'm telling you what they're going to ask you. So they're going to ask you about the time you had to deal with a difficult person. Talk to me about a time you had to deal with a difficult problem, organizational problem. Talk to me about a time you had to deal with a difficult process that you had to overcome. People, problem, and processes, that's what we're looking for. Okay? If you are a manager, supervisor, leader in an organization, you are going to get 2 additional questions. Listen very closely. One will be, what is your leadership style? Do not get fancy. Just pick one style and mention it. Mine is accountability. I hold myself accountable to a high standard, and I hold my team accountable into a high standard. My leadership style is I'm all about accountability. I'm making sure the job gets done. That's it. I'm not going to compare it to other things I've done in the past. That's what you asked me. That's what I'm going to tell you. And then they're going to ask you this one final question. Listen, this is important. Then they're going to ask you this. As a leader, if you have someone on your team who is consistently performing below expectations, how are you going to handle it? Now, whenever I do fast track interview prep, I ask clients to tell me how they will respond, right? And everybody starts the same way. They start telling a story about a time they helped dig a former team member out of the mud. I say, don't do that. Don't go into your backstory about how you helped Marcus or Mary or Thomas. Don't do that, because they don't. You may be saying that you did something that they're not interested in. So what do they want you to say? You simply say, well, if there's someone who is consistently underperforming on my team, I will follow the progressive disciplinary policy of the company to get it corrected. Okay, so that could be verbal coaching and counseling, then a second written coaching and counseling, then a third and final written coaching and counseling, and then termination. Every hiring manager, every recruiter, every HR person, that's what we want to hear. Okay, so please don't go into your long spiel about how you helped E22 get out of a rut. Don't do that. All right, so now that they've asked you all of these questions, the interview is going to transition. All of this is happening in 30 minutes. The interview is going to transition into them telling you all about, okay, this is the job, this is what it's all about, these are the challenges that we have, this is what we want someone to do. They're going to explain that to you. During that time frame, please do not say, oh yeah, I did that over here, that same thing happened over there, oh yeah, I did that, and this is how we fixed it. No, this is not a problem-solving session. They're not looking for you to talk about solutions. They are only looking for you to listen. So you're going to say, yes, I understand that. That makes sense. I experienced that in the past, and I'll make sure that doesn't happen here. All they want you to say, just listen, is all we want. Now, at the end of them talking, this is what they're going to say. They're going to then ask you, type in the chat if you've ever gotten this question. All right, that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me? Type yes in the chat if you've ever gotten that question. User 52 says, yep, sure, yes. Yes, Maisha, yes, Michelle, yes, Joe Bug, It's Online, Cyclone, Bernita, yes, everybody's saying yes. Why do we ask that question? Do we want you to ask us questions? It is a close. That's all it is. We're telling you that we're done. We're closing the interview. You've done a good job. It's a close. Now, don't you go opening the interview back up by asking all these questions. Stop it. Don't ask questions. Please, this is going to get you in trouble, because now you're going to start interviewing the hiring manager. And you're going to ask them questions they don't know the answer to, that is over their head, that shows your expert level of expertise. And you think that you're showing interest, and you think that you're proving to them that you deserve the position, but you're just making yourself look worse to them, because now either you become intimidating or they don't have the answer to the question. And plus, they're going to lie to you anyway. You're going to ask them, well, what is the environment like? What is the culture like? What keeps you up at night? What is the biggest challenge in this job? Where do you see, what does success look like in the next 30 days? They don't know the answers to those questions. They don't know. Trust me. So don't ask it. There's only one question you should ask. One. After every interview. You should say, thank you so much for this interview. I learned so much. Okay? Maisha, no, you don't ask about pay. Never. That should never be a question. You should already know about pay. I'm going to tell you in just a second. So you say this at the end of an interview. Thank you so much for the interview. I learned so much about what you need. I do have one question. When would you like for me to get started? There's a reason why I tell you to ask this question. When would you like for me to get started? It is a strategic question. Here's why you ask it. You should never walk out of an interview and not know if they're going to make you an offer. This question will tell you if they're going to make you an offer or not. The hiring manager will sit back and say, if they say this, well, We do have other candidates that we need to interview, and after we have interviewed everyone, then we will make a decision. Have you ever heard that before? Type that in the chat, yes, if you've ever heard it. Because if you've heard that before, the hiring manager is telling you, I don't want to hire you. Everybody's saying yes, I don't want to hire you. That's what they're telling you. Okay? So you can move on. There's nothing you could do to change that person's mind. It's over. They're going to run into my office and say, Dan, that person is a no. Please get me somebody else. Thank you. Right? Now, if they say this, then you know they're going to send you an offer. Okay? If they say, well, here are the next steps. What we are going to do is have someone from HR or talent acquisition call you. They'll walk you through the rest of the application. They'll talk to you about the background check and the drug test. They'll talk to you about onboarding, getting these documents to them. We do have a new hire orientation coming up, and we'll have you attend that new hire orientation. We're looking to have somebody start April 13th. If they say that, you are going to be getting an offer. Okay? That's why you ask that question. I have so many clients on the Fast Track program that come to me and say, man, I thought I killed it in this interview, and they didn't get an offer. It's before they learn how to ask this question. You got to ask that question of the hiring manager. I never leave an interview without asking that question. Okay? So, none of this matters. Now I'm about to talk to you. I'm going to tell you how you can get $2,000 to $10,000 back more from every offer you get. The hiring manager will gladly give it to you. There will be no friction, no throwing away the offer. They're going to gladly tell you yes. Thank you, Maisha. I appreciate that. None of this matters if you have a resume that stinks. None of it. If your resume does not attract the attention of a hiring manager, if it doesn't show the hiring manager the 3 things that I talked about in the beginning, it doesn't matter. You won't even get this far in an interview. So email me your resume. I could take 30 more people. Right? Chris, Samantha, Moses, Chris with a C, Charlotte, Asaya, I have your resumes. I'll review it for free and respond and tell you, change this, fix this, add this. You don't have that, please. Now, there is an option there for me to do it, but you don't have to take that option. It's up to you. I'll tell you exactly what to do. All right? So, check this out. Now you're going to get an offer, right? Let me explain to you how the offer process works. So, hiring manager comes to my office, says to me, Daniel, thank you so much for introducing me to this person. Interview went awesome. I want to make them an offer. Can you find out if they're interested? So I call you. Hey, Bobby, check this out. How was the interview? You tell me. It was great. Okay, great. And I'll then say, all right, awesome. If we made you an offer, are you ready to accept? And you would say, yes. I would say, great. I'll say, now, Bobby, let me share something with you. When you and I first talked, let's say the position pays 90 to 100. I say, when you and I first talked, we talked about the pay you were interested in, and you said 95 was fine, correct? And Bobby says yes, and I'll say okay. Now we landed on that number because I knew that would get your foot in the door in front of a hiring manager. I knew that was, it was good. Now I'm going to tell them you want 98. Is that okay? Of course you would say, yeah, of course. It's more than what we talked about. Yes, 98. So I then go to the hiring manager and say, hey, had a conversation with Bobby. He's excited, ready to accept the offer, wanted me to thank you for the interview. He was asking if we can go to 98. Is that possible? That's what I asked the hiring manager. So if the hiring manager could say yes right on the spot, they would tell me yes. I'll tell you why in just a second. But most of the times they have to go back to their manager, who's the director or VP, and say, hey, I just finished interviewing this person, Bobby. Great. They're awesome. They were wondering if we can go to 98. Can I do that? And the director or the VP will say this. Do you think they're worth it? And the hiring manager, of course, is going to say, yeah, absolutely they're worth it. And there's the director or VP would then say, you're good to go. Go with it. And they will run back to my office and say, yeah, we can do 98. And I'll call you back and say, hey, got you 98. If I send you this written offer right now, will you e-sign and send it back to me? Like right now. And you say yes. So I send it. You're happy. You just got $3,000 more than what you expected. The hiring manager's happy because they got you for less than what the max is. I'm happy because I now get to take this requisition off my board as a fill. Okay, everybody's happy. I've been doing that for over 25 years for every single person that I present an offer to. Everyone. All of them. I do not do that for anyone. I do it for everybody. On the Fast Track program, I have them send the email I'm about to tell you. Everybody sends the same email and everyone gets a bump. This is the email that you send. So when someone on our Fast Track program gets an offer, one, we sit on it for 24 hours. Why? Because in recruiting, in HR, we give you 3 days to make a decision. So day one, you don't want to respond immediately. So day one, you're going to sit on it, sleep with it, work out with it. I don't care what you do with it, but you're not going to do anything. It's going to sit in your email box. Day two, you're going to send this email back, okay, from the person who sent you the offer. You're going to send it to them. It's going to say, thank you very much for this offer. I am very excited about getting started with the team. I was wondering if the company is able to go to 98,000. Thanks again. I cannot wait to get started. That's the email. Okay? When you send that email, it comes back to me. I then give it to the hiring manager. The hiring manager says, yes, I get you to 98. That's how it works every time on the Fast Track program. Now, what does this pay increase represent? If you get a $1 per hour increase in your salary, that's $2,080 a year. $2 an hour is $4,200. $3 an hour is $6,300. That's nothing for a company. And you're worth it. Now, why would the hiring manager say yes? One, they're thinking to themselves, if I say no, they're already invested in you emotionally and mentally. Okay? They're like, I found my guy, I found my girl, my person. So, if they say no, they know they got to go back through the whole process again to try to find somebody perfect like you. They're not going to do that. The additional $2,000 to $10,000 that they need to pay, they don't care about that. It's not that important. It's an additional $2 or $3 an hour, right? And as long as it doesn't disturb pay equity in the organization, you're going to get it every time. Everybody on the Fast Track program always gets a bump. Everyone. Okay? Why? Because that's how it works. I've been doing this forever. And that's what I do for every candidate. I've done this for thousands of candidates in the past 25 plus years. And I train my team to do the exact same thing. Okay? Why? Because you're worth it. Okay? And that's how you get offers. Now, once you send that email, you get through the onboarding process, you get started, you're rocking and rolling. What you just done is you just understood how you can shift, move, to any job you want anytime in your entire career if you follow what it is I just told you. It works. You'll notice I don't argue with people on the internet. Never, ever respond to negativity on the internet. Here's why. I'm not gonna argue with people that I know it works. I'm not. Okay. So what did we cover today? What we covered is resumes that get the attention of hiring managers and recruiters. Remember I told you, you're not gonna even apply to a job if it doesn't show you what you want to see. So if your resume does not show a hiring manager what they want to see, nobody's going to call you. You can cry about it, be upset about it. It doesn't matter. They're not going to call you. So if you don't fix your resume, you won't get calls. I'll review it for free and tell you what you need to fix. Email it to me. It's daniel@dscds.com. I'm about to open it up for questions and answers. You can ask me whatever you want. So daniel@dscds.com. Okay, I'm going to have you leave your question in the comments section. The second thing I talked about is how to find a job. Stop searching for jobs based on your job title. Only search based on the single word job function. Third thing we talked about is the 6 to 8 interview questions everybody asks you, why they ask it, what the job interview is actually about. Remember the car scenario I told you about? And then finally, I just told you how to get $2,000 to $10,000 more from every single offer, right? You're going to get 2 to 10 grand more for every single offer. Many of you have been asking me on all of the platforms, what is this Fast Track program? Send me an email or a DM with the word Fast Track and I'll send you the details. That's it. That's it. Okay? It's you believe me. It'll make sense, and you can do whatever you want. Here's the deal. Nothing's going to change in your life. Nothing. If you just have information, but you don't act on it. If you don't take action, your life is going to be the same next week, the week after next year, 2 years from now. It's going to be the same. I'm giving you life-changing, career-changing information. You got it. Change your resume. Look for jobs the way I'm telling you. Interview and answer the questions the way I'm telling you to answer. And send that one email so you can get that $2,000 to $10,000 more from every job offer so you can take care of you and your family. That's what it's all about. Action, not just information. You go from, the word of God says, wisdom is the principal thing. But in all your wisdom, all you're getting, get an understanding. You got to figure it out what to do. Information is one thing, but in all the information that you're getting, put it into action or nothing's going to change. I come here every day and tell you the same thing. Change it or nothing's going to change. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer that question for you. I don't care what the question is. I'll be happy to answer it for you, and then we can go from there. Okay? What if they ask you regarding whether you agree to the pay? You say yes. Pay is a qualifier. Why do I submit you to hiring manager at $95,000? Because I know that's what they'll say yes to. But after they interview you, they know that you're worth more. And they're not willing to let you go for an additional $2,000. That's why. Okay? Ask me any question you want. Okay? Cher says, I need your coaching. Send me an email, Cher, and in the subject, type in coaching, and I'll send you all of the options. Okay? Be more than happy to do that. All right. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Okay? Email daniel@dscds.com. We need a different email to send your contact information. You can also send it to coachdanielsmiley@gmail.com. They're connected, so daniel@dscds.com is what I prefer people to use. Did you receive my resume, Precious Watson? I don't know. I'm sure if you emailed it to the correct email address, I did receive it. I could take 19 more people. 19 more people. If you want to email me a copy of a resume, I'll review your resume for free today, and I'll respond today and tell you, add this, move this, change this. Nothing's going to happen if you don't. Divine says, I'm looking to switch careers in a year. I need this. Great. How do we legit ask for a raise? Okay, so that's a great question. If you're currently working in a job, there are two ways to actually get more money. Number one is the annual merit increase, which you know is going to be anywhere from 2 to 5%, so it's not going to be much. Okay. If you want a raise, the only way to get a raise is you have to prove that you're being paid less than what you're supposed to be paying based on the industry standard and the salaries of others with the same experience in your job. So you have to do a salary survey. Real simple. Type in what is the pay range for whatever your position title at whatever the company is you're working with, and you're going to see a range that comes back. You have to break it up in thirds. Okay. The bottom third is entry level, 0 to 4 years. The middle is mid level, that's 5 to 9 years, and senior level is 10 above. Figure out where you are, and if you are being underpaid based on that, you take that information to your manager and say, hey, can we do a pay adjustment to make sure that I'm being paid fair market value? They may tell you right in your face no, and then that's your opportunity to potentially start looking for another team to join. Okay? Precious says fast track. Precious, DM me fast track or email me, and I'll be more than happy to do it. Gerald says, I've been applying and it's crazy. They always tell me I'm overqualified, but they decided to move on with other people. Overqualified is a myth. They only tell you that you're overqualified if you're applying for jobs that they think that you have way more experience than. And what that translates to is, Gerald, if I hire you and another job comes along that matches your experience better, you're going to leave me. So, Gerald, they're saying, I don't want to hire you because my concern is you're too experienced. You're going to leave me. It's not you can't do the job. It's that I'm afraid that if I give you the job, you're going to be gone. So I can teach you how to fix that. Send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. Okay. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer that question for you. Thank you guys for the questions. You guys are all sending it. Hello, I'm a new fast track. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let me see here. I've never been good at interviews. I need coaching. User 52. Send me an email. I'll talk to you about our fast track program and what my one-on-one coaching looks like. Is there a charge to fix the resume? Yes. Okay, let me answer it the correct way. There is no charge for you to fix the resume. You could fix it. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. If you want me to do it instead, yes, I offer very reasonable packages. You'll see exactly what that looks like. You don't have to do it. That's up to you. Do whatever you want. But I'm going to tell you what to do to fix it. And then you got to make a decision about whether it makes sense. Now, here's the way I should be asking that question, Nadine. You shouldn't say, is there a charge to fix it? The question is, how much would you lose if you don't fix it? I'm telling you, you ain't getting no interviews, right? So that's the wrong question to lead with, but I'm telling you that you got to change it. If you don't change it, then it's not going to happen. All right. Found out undertitled in a market for a new job should tailor my resume to each role. No, you should not. Do not tailor your resume to each role. Stop thinking about jobs as job titles. Stop thinking about it from that perspective. Start thinking about jobs like they are job functions, okay? So it doesn't matter what industry you go to, I'm just going to use a common one. If you are a chief financial officer, whether you are in medical or technical or logistics or call center, money is money. Come in, come out, report, that it's all the same. Okay, so stop thinking about your work, your expertise as a job title, and start understanding that we look at it as a function, okay, not the title. Should a cover letter always be sent with a resume? The answer is no. You only send a cover letter when you get the interview as an introduction to the hiring manager, okay? All right, I need coaching, switching careers, and lack of experience. Divine, I can help you. Most of the types of help is free at your local library and community center in case you have no money. So Figueroa, no, people can get, I'm giving this information for free, and I'm not trying to combat you. Here's a problem that people have when they try to go to colleges or libraries or anyone else. Most of those individuals don't know the back end of the higher life cycle like I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. I have people who come to me all the time and say, Dan, can you please help me fix my resume? I'm not getting any responses. I paid $1,000 to have somebody fix it. And then I asked that person, is the person who fixed it, do they have a recruiting background or a track record of looking at resumes and submitting them to hiring managers and getting hiring managers to say yes? And almost every time they say, no, they don't. Well, then the reason why your resume is not working is because they don't know what hiring managers want to see. That's the big problem that people have when they go to these resume services. The information on your resume, all of the information can be there. Listen to this. All of the right information can be there. But if it is organized wrong, you won't get a call. It's not about the information on the resume, it's how the information is organized. Remember, I said the same thing about you. It's not about the job posting, the information in the job description. It's how the job posting is organized. That's what makes you apply to a job. It's the same thing with resumes. I'm telling you, I found this out because I was getting frustrated with hiring managers who was telling me no when I was submitting your resume the way you sent it to me. Same information, same person, organized differently. I went from 2 and every 10 people getting interviews to 8 out of 10 people getting interviews. True story. Okay? So that's how it works. All right. Maisha says, the library might be free, but how much will it cost you? That is exactly the right way to think. Okay? And Figueroa, I'll ask you this question. If I told you, I'm just using this as an example. If I told you, if you gave me $1, I would give you $100, and I showed it to you, would you take it? Of course you would. That's what we're talking about here. Okay? So you have to understand that you have to figure out if you're willing to make the investment in yourself. I'm not saying, people, listen, I'm not telling you, I'm not trying to sell you on nothing. You don't have to listen to me. Don't. Do your own thing. That's up to you. It's your life. I'm just telling you from a behind the scenes perspective, I know exactly what's going on. I can take 7 more resumes, 7 more. If you want me to review your resume for free, I'll review your resume for free and tell you what to tweak, change, fix, all of that good stuff. 7 more people. So Regina, I like the way you spell your name. Regina, Dorcas, Naisha, Tawana, Angela, Naomi, James, Michelle, Kathy, Mabel, Candace, Tayana, Taswan, Chris, Damoni, Nalani, Denise, Goodwin, Patrick, Christy, Tamitra, Jean, Chris, Samantha, Moses, Chris with a C, Charlotte, Asaya, Michael, Kamisha, Merlina, all of you guys, I have your resume. I will review it for free today, and I will respond to your resume and tell you fix this, change this, add this. The goal is you need to be able to get through and get more job interviews. That is what leads to higher paying job offers. Nuclear, yes, just email me your resume, daniel@dscds.com, and I will be more than happy to review your resume for free. I'm only taking 100 people and can only take another 7 people. So quickly, please email me a copy of your resume, daniel@dscds.com, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next live. Take care. God bless.